Breaking news. Apparently yesterday in Major League Baseball, it was National Sit Your Hottest Hitter on Your Team Day. What the heck? Let's talk about it, folks. Use code EDGE, 25% off any subscription to edgeboard.live. Here's the board yesterday. Yesterday was disappointing. You know what? The thing is anytime I get cocky about how good I am at doing this, it gives me a dose of reality. So on my hitter props that I gave you, to be honest, it was a winning day, I guess. I mean, so Minnesota sits Josh Bell and Alejandro Kirk sits in Toronto. And those were like great matchups when you looked at it from pitcher to hitter, the things we use to evaluate it, to use the things we use our software for. They don't even play. Alec Burleson, he decides to shit the bed. St. Louis decides that season might be over after we've lost two of our good upcoming pitchers. I mean, our relievers blew some games. Like in St. Louis, it's kind of dire right now. We really got spanked yesterday. So bottom two hit. Alvarez, Harper, I go 2-1. It's not really a dub. It affected me in other props that I played. For team props, I was big on some other things that having those two batters out hurt. And overall, to me, it was a rough day. So let's talk about today. We do have the afternoon slate. We have a game actually coming up here pretty soon. I did a lot of analysis game by game of this entire slate. So I actually have two sheets to share with you. Out of the early game, I was originally pretty set and ready to push Detroit. There is a strong win coming in from right center. And Peralta, I think, is hittable versus Melton, but then Melton kind of got hit lately. I just didn't see anything I loved other than I think McGonigal, he's going to be batting second today, causes some noise. You're getting some good value. So I don't have an issue with that HRR there, kind of like that one. Looking at Arizona and Chicago, that one was kind of interesting. As I looked at that more, a lot of Chicago bats came of interest to me. So I do think Marino squares up very well against the left-hander Boyd. Boyd has done pretty well, but his overall metrics is he is a hittable pitcher, and Marino is still putting ball to bat pretty consistently. So total bases, I'll probably play his RBI prop. He has been hitting RBIs pretty consistently. Your safest bet's probably the total bases there. His HR is kind of nuked. The guy who stood out a little bit, matched up pretty well, was actually Bregman. So Arizona has Eduardo Rodriguez. This guy's 13-4 with a 2.61 ERA. And you will talk to a lot of experts and they say, man, this guy is smoke and mirrors. At some point, you got to give him props. He's 13-4 with a 2.61 ERA. So this might be me chasing the fool's gold of what you see in his other metrics. He appears hittable. Bregman actually does have a 300 batting history against this pitcher, and there's a lot of history, like 34 at bats. He's hit 3 home runs against him during that history. He's batting 300 in the month of August. So his odds for the HR to me are in a great spot. I would definitely go with that one. I think that Suzuki has cooled off of late. Looks like he matches up fairly well. But the other one interesting on this one was Carson Kelly. Looks like a good matchup. So I didn't list them. I'd say Bregman's probably your safest go-to based on what I saw. But it also shifted my mind that I kind of like Chicago tonight. You know, again, though, this Rodriguez factor, you know, who knows on that. Kwan, maybe the hottest guy going right now. I mean, the guy got 5 hits yesterday. I've been using him a lot. I'm going to continue to say that you want to stick with this guy. Ever since the All-Star break, I don't know what kind of cream he rubbed on him, what's legal, what's not. But this guy has been crushing it since the All-Star break. So we've got good factors in that stadium tonight in the Angel Stadium. Rodriguez is a hittable pitcher. It matches up fairly well. So look, there's a gazillion things you could do with Kwan. It depends on how heavy you want to bet him. I think the run as an overall play is probably your best value to the line. You know, the HR is somewhat nuked. You could go total bases, single, walk. He's not a power hitter, but Is this guy going to get on base? Absolutely. Now, I would say again, DeLauder's questionable. He was supposed to come back. How heavy do you bet Quan? I think really comes down to, I'd like to see DeLauder in the lineup. I think that as much as, you don't like to say one player affects things, man, it sure affected some things yesterday. I can tell you that in those lineups, major shifts in how I like those lineups. So on the Quan one, I mean, for now, I'd say you'd be wanting to play something there. I think you want to use our software to look at what you think has the best expected value and then decide how heavy you want to go from there. Moving on, in some of these games that are just confusing, the confusing games of the day here. This just is Colorado Rockies at Washington. No reason we should not see offense. Two right-handed pitchers that both are awful, Tanner Gordon and Matt Waldron. Both righties. I love lefties in that stadium with the weather. The problem is I can't make out what's going on with these teams right now. CJ Abrams has cashed it in. He had one good game, then he went right back to CJ Abrams, disinterested CJ Abrams. I mean, the only guy that actually seems to want to play right now is Dalen Lyle, somewhat consistently, very, very hot. He is a lefty. So that's the guy I'm going to pick out. I mean, probably want to go total bases. I like him for an RBI. He did hit a home run yesterday. So he's the guy I'm pointing out here. Look, this game could have a ton of offense. Hunter Goodman came back, his first game back, and he smokes a home run. It is righty, but man, these are terrible pitchers and both have terrible bullpens. So look, feel free to go crazy on this game. Feel free to maybe be confused like I am. So Hunter Goodman gets honorable mention, and I just don't know what else to say. Like, these should be pitchers that get rocked. And so normally I'd be going ham on this game, but both teams right now, Moniak's kind of cooled off. I'm sure some people probably focus on him. Castro could do something today. Jake McCarthy's even cooled off. So it's odd. I don't really know what to say. Dalen Lyle is who I picked. Next game, Carson Benj. This kid is hot, man. What a rookie this guy is. What was my stats on this? Let's get to this here. Page 3. Great odds on an HR value. Dustin May, I mean, that's the wild card, right? Dustin May. Sometimes this guy looks great. And I can tell you, because again, I'm a Cardinal homer. This guy comes out sometimes and looks terrible. So I'm willing to take my chances on an HR. I actually looked at this and they have his home run odds were like crazy high. So again, if you've noticed, because of social media, we kind of avoid putting actual prop lines on here, odds lines. We're really just trying to show you matchups we like. But take a look at that home run on that one. I mean, sprinkle in the home run with that as a backup play. Just again, I don't like to point out home runs the variance is so crazy that I only want to point out ones that I'm like, okay, well, if it hits, it's going to be a nice little day for you. Speaking of that, Randall Grichuk, I haven't bet this guy all year, which, by the way, whenever I say that, this is doomstick. That ain't coming through. But look, he is 375 in August. His history against Gore pitching for Texas is 556. And it's not just like 3 at-bats. It was like 10, 12 at-bats. He's batting over 500. Batting cleanup today. Great value on an HRR like the RBI. And to be honest, Vargas didn't have as good of a pitcher to hitter matchup, but we got Vargas third, Grichuk after him, both righties, both going against lefties, both with a pretty good chunky win heading out to left center. So if you want to play a little combo, like, hey, again, high variance, but maybe both of these guys hit home run, because I would say that I'd be kind of surprised if neither of them at least do something. Now, again, high variance. So why should I say I'd be surprised? But kind of an interesting play. I like it back to back. I like it causing some noise. So I'm pointing out Grichuk specifically because I think that's a heck of a matchup. The next one, Michael Harris has gotten hot again. Look, Rory Sasaki for the Dodgers, like, he's another guy that's sometimes this guy kind of gets hit up. Sometimes he limits power, Harris is super hot again. First of all, I point him out because I just think he's a great player overall. And when I see him get hot, I like to get in on that. So he bats in a great part of the lineup. He should be batting fourth, right behind Olsen. So give me an HRR on Harris. The odds were not nuked there, so kind of like that. Pete Alonso, I mean, the Pete Alonso play is like literally just, my gosh, this guy is crushing the ball right now. McGreevy has been one of our few pitchers that can sometimes kind of limit things. So he's not a strikeout pitcher, which makes us even more like, that's the whole thing, right? McGreevy does not strike people out. He pitches to contact. And if Pete Alonso makes contact, it's hard contact right now. Like every ball he hits, this guy is crushing the ball right now. So, I mean, look, there's not much more to say on that. Like sometimes there's in-depth analysis and sometimes you just gotta be like, gosh, dang, what is going on with Pete Alonso? So look, total bases. I never bet home runs in Busch Stadium. It's decent weather. The wind, I don't think it's the left center. I think but it is outish. So look, whatever you want to play on Pete Alonso, like the total bases to me is kind of like the safest. It's like an evenish money kind of play. I really don't like any total bases when it's not plus money, but for both these next two guys, it's kind of the same scenario. And then the last one of the day in my next, just like, what do you do here? Is again 90 degrees in the AAA ballpark in Sacramento. The Twins versus the A's. Connor Prelip. I mean, this game. I also had a crown. All right, look, I had a crown yesterday, man. I had to go to bed mid-game. I was already mid-game of that game. I already knew, like, why did you not play Josh Bell? And the Twins, you guys pissed me off. So look, at the end of the day, like Connor Prelip has been very hittable. JT Ginn has had good games. He's had games he kind of gets touched up on. This is, again, like a nuclear environment. The two nuclear environments today are at Washington with those pitchers and at Sacramento. The problem is I can't figure out who's doing what. I haven't looked at Josh Bell this game. I assume he plays. And JT Ginn's best pitch is a sinker. And Josh Bell doesn't really hit sinkers all that well. So look, Henry Bolte, I used him 2 nights ago. He came through super hot. Prelip super sucks. The combo of how they face each other, the types of pitches, our software in-depth analysis tells me Bolte gets on base. He causes some noise, but also his HR and his run is severely nuked. So the only one I could see like kind of giving you some value there was total bases. So there we are, folks. 2 pages of plays. Let's do better than we did yesterday. I honestly like a lot what I have here and look forward to reviewing this with you tomorrow, hopefully with some positive results.